and welcome back to another episode of Just Gay Stuff Podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Jess.
And before we get into today's episode, which is a fun one because we've had a bit of a day today.
A bit of a day. It started with 2 hectic days at work, which, you know,
for you anyways.
I was saying one for me and one for you.
Oh, yes. Well, yes.
So 2 hectic days at work, which we record these episodes after a long day at work, which sometimes makes us a bit loopy. But also, I just want to say we're entering winter.
Yes,
and it's
we
my
are.
most hated season.
That's because you're a fire baby.
I am, but also winter's just shit. Like, you get chapped lips, there's cold breeze, you can't get comfortable.
It's only shit if you have to go to work, which we do, and can't just lay under the covers and play games.
I'd love to lay under the covers and play games.
Yeah.
I also feel like I'm feeling a bit like I have hay fever tonight, and I don't understand.
You've been sneezing quite a bit.
So if I sound a bit weird, I think
That's just your voice.
I usually only get hay fever when I touch a cat because I'm allergic to cats, but I don't know
She
what's
didn't
going
even
on.
catch my joke.
I did. I chose to ignore you because it was terrible. Tell a good joke and I'll respond.
No. I am the good joke.
You don't know a good joke, Babs.
I am the good joke.
Okay.
Anyways, I just wanted to take a moment after our little silliness rant then to talk about something that's kind of been on my mind. And it's no secret that here on Just Gay Stuff, we're here for everyone.
Oh, everyone.
And we've had
the straights, the gays, the thems, the theys.
the trans, the non-binaries.
Yeah, the lesbians.
The queers,
Everybody.
whomever.
Everybody that exists.
Even if you're cis, we will even have ya.
Yeah, totally. We just don't stand for anyone who's breaking the law.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
And a lot of them have been trans guests.
Yeah.
Recently. We recently did that episode with DJ Bexus.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Great episode for
great.
trans representation.
Yeah. So obviously people identify in these unique and beautiful ways, and unfortunately many have had to deal with the transphobia and homophobia.
And it's not new. Let's put it out there.
No, it's not new. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is kind of ironic because the transphobia and homophobia often comes from religious backgrounds.
Yes, sometimes it can, yes.
Sometimes it can, yes, not always. The transphobia, homophobia has come from, you can't do that because God in a book said
Look,
so.
I have the same negative connotations when it comes to religion. I feel like even though it's not the truth, I have this really negative feeling that a lot of hate is bred from religious background.
Yeah.
And that isn't necessarily the truth, but because that's where I've seen the hate happen the majority of the time.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have these
conversations.
These conversations and these insights and the ability to talk about it here.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful that we get to talk about it. So in saying that, I saw something on Facebook recently and I kind of had to share it because it was really fitting to this. And I know you've seen it because we've had so many discussions about it.
But also we've had so many posts like resonate with what we talk about on here that we've had to share them lately. And yes, I already know what this post is and I loved it. So I am super here for you to share it.
So as we know, a pope has now recently been elected.
Yes.
Which is, we knew that was coming because, you know, old Pope Francis was a bit having chest infections and stuff like that.
And he was a good pope because he was here for the queers. I just want to say that.
He was very accepting. So we had this new pope and I found this post that someone had posted and this is what the post says.
Yeah.
Yesterday, a 69-year-old man known as Robert, his entire life, walked out on a balcony and self-identified as Leo. The world now calls him Leo without question. See how easy it is to accept and respect what an individual identifies as. Oh, and he was wearing a dress.
That is so ironic.
I found it ironic, like I said before, in the sense that we were talking about religion and where the hate comes from often, not always, but often in the times that we've seen it. And the irony is that suddenly a man has self-identified as Leo and all the Catholics and Christians and everyone are suddenly able to accept that. Why can't they accept everyone else?
I know. It is so ironic. And I think it just comes down to people within themselves. I think it comes down to the fact that people think that it makes things more complicated for them because they have to then change what they call that person.
Yeah.
But they refuse to see the complication that that person is going through. Like they're living a life that doesn't feel like themselves.
Yeah.
So what's the better option? You're forcing someone to live a life that's not them, or you can just call them by the name they want to be.
For your own self-importance,
yeah,
by the
literally.
way.
That's why I feel like And as we know, we say this all the time, and I'm a very strong believer that anybody who is speaking that kind of hate towards you obviously has some sort of internal homophobia. Because nobody cares that much about what you do with your life unless it is actually affecting them. And it's 9 times out of 10 not affecting them unless it is affecting them on the inside, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
People are offended by you allowing yourself to live how you want to live because they're clearly not living how they want to live. So, you know, that's up to them and that's not our problem.
And just touching on exactly what you said, the quote that we just read above is such a powerful reminder that it is accepted when it serves the status quo. But
like in a religious way.
In a religious way. But when it doesn't serve the status quo, suddenly goes, oh, that's not acceptable. I can't have that.
Yeah, it becomes an issue.
It's an issue.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, we love our trans fam, our non-binary baddies, everyone in the rainbow. You belong here on Just Gay Stuff podcast. You don't need anyone's permission to exist. Know that here, know that in your inner circles and your chosen family and your tribe that you have found.
Yeah.
And even if you're still searching for your tribe, know that they are out there and they are waiting for you with open arms. So don't let anybody dull your shine. I know that is like the most
cliche
thing to say, but honestly, we have to believe that, especially when times do get tough and times can look dark. There is light and you will find it. You just got to keep holding on and searching.
Oh, well, that was a perfect mic drop moment, I think. Now that we've had a bit of this little heavy and educational part, I thought for this week's episode we would jump into something a little bit lighter.
I love light.
So we've done stories like, wow, that's embarrassing, and worst first dates.
Which we love.
We do love.
We love.
This time I thought we would have a little bit more fun with it and play a game. So I'm going to put Jess in the hot seat.
I love a game.
Yeah, so
I did not know we were doing this.
Yeah, so we're going to play a game called Second Date or Ghost.
Ooh.
You're feeling spicy. You're feeling like you want to know the rules of the game.
I do want to know the rules. I just want to say to everyone, I have had some alcohol today because it was a hard day. So this is going to be fun. And also, I'm a real petty bitch.
Oh.
So if I have to give an opinion on anything, it's probably going to be petty.
Probably. Well, so we're going to get you to feel in the moment you're temporarily single.
Okay.
Not really, but in the headspace.
Temporarily single.
In the headspace,
Who
she's
can I ask
temporarily
out?
Single.
Who have I looked at lately?
Megan Fox.
No, I can't. I don't know. She's changed. You've changed, Megan.
Oh, no.
You used to be my ride or die, but you've changed.
All right, so Jess is now in the hot seat, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out stories and you have to decide yourself. There's no names. This is just the scenario.
Okay.
You have to decide yourself. Would you go on a second date with this person?
Okay, or would I ghost? Can I preface this by saying I would never ghost anybody? I would always just send them a message saying, hey, look, I don't think we're compatible. Best of luck.
Yeah, and that's the appropriate way and mature way to do it.
So maybe I'm not as a petty bitch as I think.
Well, I don't know. We haven't gone through the game yet.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Dun, dun, dun.
Are there any other rules I need to know?
No.
That's it.
That's it. You just got to say whether you're going on a second date or ghost. Okay. I don't have any game show music because this is my game show music. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I'm here for it.
All right. Welcome to Second Date or Ghost. Why are you laughing?
I love this.
All right. Welcome to Second Date or Ghost, our version of a queer dating game show, but it's just us and you, the listeners.
Ooh.
Here's how it works. I'm going to present some wild, strange, and downright questionable dating scenarios.
Are these real scenarios?
These are real scenarios that people have been through.
Do you know the outcome of them?
I do.
Okay. Because I want to see how I measure up against some of these people.
Jess, you'll be in the hypothetical mindset of being single.
Yep.
Freshly on the apps,
Hate
and
the
you'll
apps.
decide. That's how we met.
I know, but I hate them.
Freshly on the apps, and you'll decide, is this person worth a second date, or are we ghosting and never speaking to them again?
Remember, everyone, I prefaced that I would never ghost anybody. But okay, let's enter
All
the
right,
scenario.
Enter the scenario.
Should I close my eyes? I feel like you really have to set the scene.
I mean, you can.
I'm going to.
Imagine this.
I'm imagining.
You've been FaceTiming this stunning girl all week.
Okay, so I know she's real at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's real. You've seen her. She's not a catfish looking person.
She's not AI.
No, she's not AI.
Okay.
Well, I don't know the way AI is going these days.
I know, right?
She's charming, smart, and somehow even more gorgeous in person.
Okay.
Okay.
That never happens.
Yeah.
But okay.
Hey! You meet up for your first date and it's magic. The kind of chemistry you don't expect on a first encounter. You're both laughing non-stop. The conversation flows effortlessly. And it turns out you share a surprising number of interests. The energy is flirty, fun, and full of potential.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of drinks in, she leans in with a look that says, "Want to come back to mine?" And you're like, "Absolutely."
Okay.
Why are you pulling that face?
Well, I'm not really a go home with someone on a first date person. I think I'm a bit too anxious for that.
I went home on the second date.
Yeah, but that's a second date.
And I haven't left.
Yeah, and it was the day after. As if anyone's listened to our first episode, they know that. But I'm still not that person. No offense, I would never have come to yours.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have gone to yours on our first date either.
No, but even on our second.
Oh.
I'm just too anxious of a person.
I have issues.
Anyway, keep going. Keep going.
At her place, things escalate. A kiss here, a smirk there, until she grabs your hand, smiles and asks, "Want to head to the bedroom?" You nod, heart racing, but then she opens the door and it hits you. Mountains of unfolded laundry on the floor, a twin-sized bed crammed in the corner, shaped like a race car, a Lightning McQueen bedspread, red and shiny, eyes staring at you from the headboard. You freeze. Not a joke, not ironic, it's real. What do you do? Second date or ghost?
I mean, I have questions.
Okay.
My first question is is this actually your house? Is this actually your room? Do you have a child that you're hiding in the cupboard? Because this is like a child's bed. This is a child's bed. This is not an adult bed.
No.
And look, I'm the biggest kid at heart. I still don't have Spider-Man bed sheets as much as I'd love them. We don't have that. So it's not a deal breaker.
But
it's not a deal, the unfolded laundry is more of a deal breaker than the bed for me.
Oh. She likes the Lightning McQueen race
No,
bread.
I've never even seen the movie Cars.
I said race bread.
I've never even seen the movie Cars. I know that doesn't surprise anybody if anybody knows me here. I don't think I would ghost.
Ooh.
I think I would second date.
Is that because you have all these follow-up questions? You're like, I need a second date to ask.
No, I feel like
But to be fair, there was chemistry in the beginning.
Exactly. And there are reasons for things, and maybe getting to the bottom of the reason is worthy of a conversation. It's not worthy of a ghost.
Okay. And if this is the person's bedroom and this is just how it always is?
Well, it's also you don't know someone's situation, right? So maybe they had to move out quickly. Maybe they have a bad home situation. Maybe this is the only bed they could afford. Maybe it was free. You just can't judge someone on that. I'm being not petty at all.
I was like, who are you?
I'm being very nice.
This is very nice. Who are you and what have you done with Jess?
No, but don't make me sound don't
no,
make
I'm
me
just kidding. That's
super
not,
bitchy.
You're not bitchy.
I think that there are reasons for things that are worthy of a second date. And that's where I'm going to stay. I'm going to go second date.
Okay, cool. So you want to know the answer to the story?
Totally.
All right. So this person said that they walked in and they saw that because it was, in fact, this person's bed and bedroom, and they ghosted, unfortunately.
No, so but how do you just ghost in person? Do you just leave there?
Yeah, they're like,
oh, look at this. See you later.
Well,
have to go to the bathroom. Bye.
Look at the time. Oh, I best be getting out of here.
Yeah.
That's a bit awkward because you're hot and heavy until that moment happens and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm a bye.
Here's the thing as well. I just want to put this in for safekeeping. I would never have gone back on the first date anyway.
Yeah.
So
you would have had to go on the second date, third date.
At least.
Or something to see it.
Probably at least third to go to the person's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very classy of you.
Oh, no, I'm just too anxious.
Yeah. Fair.
And I'm not really an anxious person, but that kind of thing makes me feel anxious.
Well, it's a brand new person and a brand new place. I can't talk. I went to yours straight away.
Yeah. And who knows? When you're in that moment, you don't know how you'd act. But I feel like I would definitely do a second date before I even went to the person's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. Are you ready for your scenario number 2?
Yeah, I like this game.
Yeah?
Except I really thought
that you would be more bitchier?
Yeah.
Or pettier?
I
Not bitchier. That's not the right word. Pettier.
Maybe I've really grown as a person.
You did just have a birthday recently.
I did have a birthday, so I've grown. I'm older and wiser. Okay.
All right. Bringing you into date number 2 or scenario number 2, I should say.
I like this.
Yeah?
I like this. Yeah.
You've been using dating apps for a while. Again with the apps. And after a few disappointments, you've learned to be upfront. You have to be.
I mean, I am.
Yeah. Every profile you have, Hinge, Bumble, even that one experimental try on Raya, this is clearly an American person that wrote this, clearly says not interested in having or raising kids. You're not anti-kid, but you're crystal clear it's just not your path.
Wait, is Raya, isn't that
American celebrity thing?
Wow, okay. I would, I'm really putting myself in the mindset of, oh, wow, I'm worthy enough to be on that.
You match with her. She's smart, gorgeous, witty in text, emotionally available, but not overbearing. Her profile says she's in her early 30s. She loves hiking, indie films, and a strong coffee, your exact vibe. For 2 months, you've been talking every day. Long texts, occasional late-night calls, sending each other memes. There's emotional intimacy building, inside jokes piling up, and you're both excited for the first date.
Okay.
You decide on a chill wine bar downtown. You get there early because you're a little nervous, and maybe you want to catch your breath before meeting this person who's been occupying so much of your brain space.
Okay.
Fair. Then the door opens. She walks in with 3 kids. One looks about 12. The other 2 are definitely under 10. They're her kids. She greets you with a warm smile like nothing's off. Her. Hey, sorry, I had to bring the little crew with me. Last minute sitter cancellation. Figured you wouldn't mind. You are speechless. Then she adds, almost as an afterthought, her. Oh, and I'm actually 43, not 33. I didn't want to scare you off too early. Hope that's okay. The kids are already grabbing menus. She orders them lemonades like this is totally normal. You're sitting there, wine in hand, heart racing, trying to process the fact that she just dropped 2 massive plot twists like it was a casual update. Second date or ghost?
Ghost. Straight up ghost. But I think I'm putting too much of me in this scenario.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few red flags here. Like, I don't like hiking, so I would never have swiped on this person in the first place.
Yeah.
The second thing is,
Well, she wasn't upfront and you're a very upfront person.
yeah. And so I feel like if you can't build that trust straight off the bat and they've already lied to you in like a few ways, that's already like, nah. So
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. I would just get up and leave there. I wouldn't even have that date. There's no second date. There's no first date.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that was an actual scenario. Someone
Yeah, that's
actually
mental.
went on that date. And similar to what you said, there wasn't a first date. It was just a
Do you know the kids
bye.
thing? The kids thing doesn't bother me. They seem like, okay, so one was what, 14? No, 12.
12.
And the other 2 are just under 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that scenario, I'm like, 10 years, they'll all be moved out. Like, that's no issue.
Yeah.
And I feel like older kids are easier than younger kids.
Were you able to communicate with them better, I think?
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think the straight up non-communication from the beginning, that's it.
That's what it is. It's the lack of communication and the age difference.
Yeah.
Not the fact that you have a thing against age differences.
I'm not
but
ageist.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Ageist. But in the sense, again, it's the upfrontness.
It's communication.
Yeah.
I feel like if someone is so willing to lie to you in the beginning, it's just a roller coaster of what are they willing to lie to you about down the track.
Yeah, exactly.
And my mind goes there because previous
Past
relationships
traumas.
have been like that. So, yeah, I couldn't answer honestly without
Putting
injecting
yourself
myself
into
in
it,
that.
yeah. Well, yeah, that thing actually happened to that person and they, similar to you, got up and left because the person wasn't upfront with them. They said, thanks for coming, but
I think I would just
Laters.
say, look, you look like you deserve a night out with your kids. You should have it. I don't think this is going to work. Smell you later.
I'm not the right person for you. Okay, Simpsons quote. All right, you ready?
I'm actually impressed that you got that.
Thank you.
Because
I don't watch The Simpsons.
you don't like what I like.
I like you.
That's not enough.
I like playing a certain game with you.
Oh, yeah. For any couples that might be listening and you have PlayStation, Lauren
I was
and
going to say, wait, that sounded really dirty before.
I like
'cause
playing with you.
I like playing with you. I like playing a certain
also
game.
Not untrue. Also not untrue. But Lauren and I have been playing Plate Up on PlayStation.
It's like Overcooked,
Overcooked.
and The Sims together.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
Just a little side
Just
note
a little
in case
side note.
anybody wants to play it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Next
Bringing
scenario.
you into the next scenario.
Okay, I'm going to close my eyes again. I feel like that
Yeah.
worked really well.
Actually, I think this is a good one for you to close your eyes.
Okay.
Why is this you? You are a sarcastic, charismatic type of woman.
Yes, I am. Sounds like me already.
Yeah. After running into a girl at one of the queer clubs, you decided to shoot your shot and she agreed to go out on a date with you.
That's never happened before.
No. The day comes and you finally go out to the pub for a quick and easy dinner date. Okay. The same girl you asked out walks in wearing black jeans and a crop top that has the words "Save the Plants" on it, but you just think maybe she is wearing the shirt ironically. You mingle and have a great time until you go to order. You order a cheeseburger and your date's face suddenly changes from happy and smiley to as if you had just kicked a puppy, and she goes, "Oh, you eat meat." You say yes. Her face then mildly morphs into sadness and amusement of like, I need to save this woman's soul. That is then followed by a 20-minute monologue about the environmental devastation of animal agriculture, the horror of the dairy industry, a TED Talk level explanation of oat milk's superiority, and how cheese is cow pus and a feminist issue. Oh. What do you do? Second date or ghost?
I think in this scenario, if I was asking someone out that I met at the club, I think I would spend a bit more time getting to know them away from a date before actually injecting myself into a date.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that if this was a real scenario for me, I would have found out that she's a vegan before we went on the date. So then I would never have encountered this situation.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like being a vegan is a bad thing. I have nothing against that. I just mean I would never put myself into a position where I would have felt like I was offending her and her beliefs by ordering a cheeseburger, because I'll eat whatever.
I think veganism is similar to how we say like religion or something else where
people get a bad rap.
Yeah, people get a bad rap, but it's also like, you know, as long as you do you and you're happy for other people to do them and not worry about it, no one cares. Like, you're not pushing any agenda on anyone.
I can understand in the sense, though, if you're a diehard animal activist, you obviously want your other half to be on the same like level playing field and have the same views as you, and that's absolutely fine, because some of those things, like religious beliefs, political views, some of those things, when you find a partner, they have to line up.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. I think it's just a case of maybe instead of the interrogation about all these things that you believe in, like you said, it's just a respect of, oh, this person's not my person, and that's okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that was the case and you only had that little bit of knowledge,
like I prefaced, I would never ghost, but I would just say, hey, I don't think we're compatible. See you later.
Yeah.
Enjoy
plants. All right. Next scenario.
I love this. Yeah. This is fun. I hope everyone's playing at home.
Playing at home.
Is everyone playing at home?
I would love to hear everyone's answers. Yeah. Like if people comment their answers either on Spotify or Instagram.
That would be great.
Would you date or ghost?
I just want to see if anything lines up with like what I'm saying. Do you guys feel the same as me, or do you disagree? Because I would love to hear. All
right. You ready?
Yeah.
You're going to close your eyes again?
Yeah. Okay.
You're on a first date at a cozy bar. Everything seems fairly normal at first, but you notice your date keeps subtly glancing at their phone. You assume they're distracted, maybe bored or texting someone. A bit rude, but not totally uncommon. Could just be nerves. You ask if they are okay and they say yes. You also say if they aren't interested, we can wrap up the date here and go on with the night. But they assure you they are having a good time even though they continue to check their phone constantly. The date finally wraps up and you wish each other a goodbye and say thanks for the date. Ultimately, you think the date went well even though the phone thing was a bit rude. It's not until you are home scrolling on TikTok in bed that you realize that the girl you are on a date with has a TikTok page called Rate My Date and had cameras hidden everywhere. You only find this out because your friend started tagging you in her videos and suddenly it clicks as to why she was checking her phone all the time. Second date or ghost?
Wait, this scenario actually happened?
Yes.
Who the fuck does that? Who does that? Who has the time to set up all these?
People do shit for their 15 minutes of fame.
I have to say, over the course of time with social media and influencing and all that, I naively used to have this mindset that it was easy to do that. Like, what a easy job. People just sit on their social media and blah, blah. I now know that's not the case.
No.
Like, any of us can't just rack up 1 billion followers and off we go. Like, I know that. So, yeah, props to this person for going that extra mile and trying to get her 15 minutes. I feel like it's kind of one of those things where you haven't given permission to be filmed.
Yeah.
And so I would feel like that's a super breach of my privacy, especially on a first date. I don't know what everyone else's view is on this, but on a first date, I'm a pretty open book.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about things that I feel are important
Very
about
vulnerable.
me. Yeah. If I feel comfortable enough, and maybe, look, this person didn't, but I feel like if that was then being broadcasted to this person's like live stream or something, I'd feel totally violated.
Yeah, I would too.
So I wouldn't ghost, but I'd be a petty bitch about this. I would be blocking her channel and reporting it as spam.
Well, I fully agree with you. I think, like you said, it's an invasion of privacy, especially when it's without knowledge.
Here's one. If I had the money, I'd take her to court.
And you would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the dollars.
Also, I know I said ask, second date or ghost, but I don't think you can really ghost someone when they weren't interested anyways.
Yeah, see, were they interested or was it just for the
TikTok
likes?
fame.
Yeah, see, you'll never know. It's like if you did have money, you would never know if people actually wanted to be your friend or if
it
they
was
just
the
wanted money from you.
Yeah.
Same thing.
All right.
Sometimes it's nice to have nothing because, you know, the people that are sticking by you love you for you because you have absolutely nothing
you got
else
nothing
to
for
offer.
them to take.
That's us. That is us.
Literally. No,
I mean, we have this podcast and that's something to offer. So everyone who's listening, we absolutely love you.
we do love you. We've got no greed.
Yeah,
is what
no,
we're saying.
absolutely not.
We've got no dollars in the bank.
We've got nothing.
Although we do have a Patreon, so
Yes, we do. And anyone who has signed up to that, we love you. We absolutely
do love you.
Actually, I just want to add on to that. We are actually super rich in friendship and love.
and followers,
Yeah,
listeners.
friendship, listeners. Yeah, totally.
All right. We're going to bring you back in
Okay.
for another date. I hope there's a nice one. I don't remember what I wrote anymore.
Okay. Don't remember the scenarios.
No.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
You've been talking to them for a few weeks now. It's been flirty, exciting, that early stage where everything feels like it's glowing a little. You've had a few low-key dates. Oh, this has already happened. Late night walks, wine and takeout, long conversations that dip between deep and stupid. It feels promising. Why is that us?
It's us minus the wine. I
Yeah.
would never drink wine.
Then they invite you to a cozy house party. Just a few friends, they say. Chill vibes.
I can see where this is going.
Can ya?
Yep.
You show up with a bottle of wine and that hopeful flutter in your chest. The house is warm and full of laughter. People are gathered in the kitchen and sprawled across thrifted couches in the living room. There's music humming under everything, lo-fi beats a little nostalgic. You're introduced to some folks and everyone is friendly. It's easy, comfortable. Then you notice them. This person who's always near your date. Sitting a little too close, brushing arms, sharing private looks, inside jokes, the kind of laughs that come from long-lived affection. At first you assume best friend maybe. You've heard their name before, always spoken warmly but vaguely. But then there's a touch, a hand on a thigh that lingers, a shared bite of food.
Ooh. Are they on a date? What's going on?
You freeze for a second, your wine glass halfway to your mouth. Wait, what? You catch your date's eye. They smile at you like nothing's off, like this is normal, like you're the one who's just catching up. Later, in the kitchen, you finally ask, so, that's your best friend? They laugh a little sheepishly, a little too nonchalant. Partner, actually, but yeah, they're one of my best friends too. Suddenly everything shifts. You're not on a cute date anymore. You're in a polycule, and apparently the only person who didn't know was you.
Oh.
Second date or go.
This goes back to that age-old rule of communication. And I think communication is everything. If you're not letting someone in on what they're getting themselves into, because, you know, this person might be fully up for polyamory.
Yeah.
But if you don't let them know that they are, it's going to come as a surprise.
Yeah, big shock.
Yeah. Well, I am not polyamorous. So if I was in this situation, I'd be like, you guys have fun. This isn't for me. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I agree because I'm not polyamorous, so I couldn't do that. I think, like you said, it's the communication thing. And it's the shock. And I think it's not like it's been a first or second date. They've gone on multiple dates before they've even gotten.
It also brings me back to that thing of if they haven't been upfront with this, then down the line, there's probably other things they won't be upfront with. And that doesn't resonate well with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have to say ghost.
Out of there.
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
You're vibing with someone super hot.
I have. I do. Every day.
Yeah. Dashy.
Megan Fox. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Date 1 is perfect.
Megan Fox doesn't even know who I am.
On date 2, you end up at their place.
Yeah, see, that wouldn't happen either.
Things are heating up, shirts are coming off,
Ooh.
and you notice a giant tattoo on their rib that says their ex's name in cursive with angel wings.
Oh, that's a bit sad.
You
Okay.
pause. They notice and say, oh yeah, I just haven't gotten around to removing it yet. We still talk sometimes, but only as friends, I swear.
Oh.
Second date or ghost. Oh, these are the fast ones.
Oh. I thought when you said they got angle wings.
Angle wings.
I thought you said that had angel wings, their ex was dead.
No, I don't think so. I just think it was like, you know how people get those tramp stamps and it's like
yeah, the age-old tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's not a deal breaker. I have a matching tattoo with my ex. It's not her name.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's not her name though.
No.
And it definitely doesn't have angel wings. But
I think I would be a lot more uncomfortable if it was her name.
yeah, I think though everyone's got a past.
Yeah, and I agree.
And I think if you can move past something like that, and look, they openly said, I haven't got around to, covering it up. Or removing it. So they obviously had that intention.
Yeah.
We still talk sometimes, but only as friends, I swear. I feel like when people say, I swear, it's like,
Yeah.
who are they trying to convince?
What are you hiding? Yeah.
Are they trying to convince you or themselves? I don't know. I'm just going to spitball and say ghost.
Right. Next one.
Okay, so these are the last few little quick
The
ones.
last few
Okay.
little quick ones. But I thought I had a cute one in there, but obviously it
You saved the cute one
disappeared.
for, yeah.
Next time.
Okay.
You go back to her place after a dreamy first date. You're met at the door by her massive dog. He growls and then pees on your shoe. She laughs and says, wow, he never reacts like that to anyone. Maybe he senses something. You try to recover, but she keeps bringing it up like he just knows people's vibes. Second date or ghost?
Ghost, totally, because I briefly dated this girl once who had a German Shepherd and he was terrifying. And like, I'm a dog lover. I love dogs, but he was just not trained and he would always jump at me and I don't like it. And that brought me that, ghost. I would
ghost.
never go back there.
Fair.
Also, that was like the briefest, most horrible relationship. So I'm just going to put that out there.
Trauma.
Yeah.
All right.
Last one.
Last one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Everyone's at a coffee shop or a pub. Okay.
That's because that's where dates happen.
Yeah, and it's public.
Also, can we normalize going on a date during the day, like say lunchtime at a cafe?
Yeah.
Because everything is always pub,
Nighttime.
club.
That's because people work.
That's true. I'm coming from the thing of I have Wednesdays and Thursdays during the day off.
All right.
Okay.
You meet at a coffee shop. She pulls out a small velvet...
meet you at a coffee shop.
Just a little interject of the SG going on.
Yeah.
You meet at a coffee shop. She pulls out a small velvet pouch and says, before we start, I'd love to check our energetic alignment. She proceeds to wave a crystal over your latte, closes her eyes and says, oh, your third eye is completely blocked. That's probably why you're single. Second date or ghost?
Well, define third eye because
Yeah, not the bum one.
No, because I'm like, your third eye is usually your bum, right?
Not your bum hole.
So if I haven't had coffee yet, of course it's blocked. Coffee gets you going. Yeah, look, I'm not against a spiritual girl though.
Clearly present.
I love some spiritual vibes. I'm not against that. I think it's more in the directness of how someone talks to you more than what they're doing.
I think it was more the last part. That's why you're single.
That's why you're single. Yeah.
That's why you're single.
Girl, you don't know why I'm single. You know nothing about me.
You don't know, mate.
I haven't even drunk my coffee yet. You haven't
Yeah.
even seen me in a good mood.
You haven't even seen me butthole.
You haven't seen my butthole. It's the language I have a problem with.
Yeah.
People are probably thinking, oh, I'm so hard to please. But
No,
I'm
you're not.
But also, if anyone is standing for this kind of bullshit and directness that's rude, don't stand for that.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve more. Yeah, I'm going to say ghost. I'm going to end the episode on a ghost. And I think out of, what was that, like 8 scenarios, I
Yeah.
think I only second dated like
One.
the chick with the kids' bed.
Yeah, the chick with the kids bed. You did. The
I'll
first one.
take that.
You'll take the Lightning McQueen.
I will take that over disrespectful language and no communication any day.
Yeah, I agree. There was a story that I meant to write in there, but I hadn't, and it was a cute one, and it was of a gay male couple, and they're still a couple today, but apparently they met on Grindr or wherever they met and started talking, but they had like no connection over text or over
sometimes
SMS,
it's hard.
and some people aren't like that. They don't know how to communicate well or flirt or have that connection. They have to meet in person.
And on the back of that, just saying about text messages and stuff, you know how you text people. And so if someone doesn't text how you text, you read it with tone.
Yeah, and tone can't be conveyed in text messages. And that's the problem. So anyways, I went on a long-winded rant, but basically the story is they met. They didn't have good connection via text. They went and met up for coffee. The main guy went, oh, well, it's just a date, whatever. I've got a few hours to kill. They ended up realizing that they had lots in common. They both loved queer literature and discussed all of that. And now they're still together.
Wow.
Yeah.
They like read Heart of the Man to themselves at a coffee shop. Yeah.
Literally.
Wow.
So I just wanted to end on that little cute scenario.
That is cute. And I guess that's a PSA to everyone that if you don't have good chemistry over text, that doesn't mean you won't in real life.
Yeah.
So don't give up on those hopes of love and connection. Yeah.
Cute.
This was fun. I really liked this.
Yeah. So that was our first round of Would You Date or Ghost?
Yeah. What would you do, everyone? Did you agree with me or did you disagree with me? I would love to know.
Me too.
Wow.
I think that's us.
This was good. Yeah, that's us. That's us. I'm going to think about this and ponder on a few things now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not as petty as you thought.
I'm not a petty bitch.
You've grown.
I have. I've grown.
Not in inches, just in maturity.
We've had a few birthdays, so I think I've grown in width.
It's all the ice cream cake we've eaten.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode. This was really fun. I really loved this. Thank you, Lauren, for bringing this to the table.
You're welcome.
I hope everyone else enjoyed it. And so until next week,
I guess you better remember to
stay gay, motherfuckers.
I'm talking about, you're talking about, we're talking about just gay stuff.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Just Gay Stuff. Make sure to follow us at Just Gay Stuff Podcast on all your socials and write to us with your stories at justgaystuffpodcast@gmail.com.